27th of August edition of Monday Night Raw opened up with Roman Reigns hearing out the Usos regarding Jacob Fatu. OMG. Ladies and gentlemen, it would appear at Backlash we are getting the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns defending his World Heavyweight title against the Samoan Werewolf. OMG. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Now, it would appear that WWE are reuniting the Bloodline. That happened last week. We saw the reunion of the Bloodline, and Jacob Fatu was the first one to step up to the Tribal Chief and say, I want that World Heavyweight title. Wow. So guys, let me know in the comments below of what you thought of the segment between Roman Reigns and his cousins. And Jey Uso is right. There has to be consequences throughout. What does this mean heading in to WWE Backlash? Wow. We then cut to Seth freaking Rollins challenged Braun Baker to a match at Backlash. Yes, fucking please. Give me this any day of the week. WWE, wow. Well done on the storytelling between Braun Baker and Seth freaking Rollins. Of course, remember guys, Braun Baker was the one that kicked out Seth freaking Rollins of the Vision. And Seth said that Braun, you need to prove yourself, and what a way to do it. Can you imagine when the dust has settled after Backlash and Braun Baker is standing tall over Seth freaking Rollins? Because if that happens, where would this leave the visionary Seth freaking Rollins? OMG. So ladies and gentlemen, at Backlash, it would appear we have Braun Baker and Seth freaking Rollins. Yes, please. We moved into the Intercontinental Champion Penta taking on Rusev in a non-title match. Now, ladies and gentlemen, of course, All Ego Ethan Page was at ringside, and ladies and gentlemen, I just got a feeling that Ethan Page is going to be next in line for Penta's Intercontinental title. And if that happens, yes please, but come on Penta. On that note, Penta did pick up the victory over the Bulgarian brute, Rusev. Wow. We then moved in to Devon Evans, and Penta brawled with Rusev and All Ego Ethan Page. Wow. The man's Intercontinental title picture is on fire, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, I want to know what you guys thought of this Penta Rusev, then Devon Evans, Penta brawled with Rusev and All Ego Ethan Page. Wow. We then had the return of the new Women's Intercontinental Champion, the man, Becky Lynch. Of course, her celebration was short-lived when the Genius of the Sky confronted her in Iyo Sky. So, ladies and gentlemen, do you see Iyo Sky being next in line for Becky Lynch's Women's Intercontinental title? Of course, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you guys think, so let me know down in the comments below. Moving on, we then had the Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch defeat Iyo Sky. Now, after Iyo Sky answered an open challenge from the Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch, the two faced off with the title on the line. Wow. So it would appear, ladies and gentlemen, that Becky Lynch put her Women's Intercontinental title on the line against the Genius of the Sky in Iyo Sky. Becky Lynch did pick up the victory over the Genius of the Sky thanks to the assist of Asuka. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we now have another match for WWE Backlash. Iyo Sky taking on the Empress of Tomorrow in Asuka. We then had a Monday Night Raw debut in Joe Hendry. Now, I believe in Joe Hendry. Do you? Let me know down in the comments. But of course, Joe Hendry was set to perform his concert on Monday Night Raw, but the Vision ruined Joe Hendry's concert. Damn that Vision. So, Joe Hendry was attacked. It looked like Logan Paul and Austin Fury, I want to say. But guys, what are your guys' thoughts on the Vision going after Seth and Joe Hendry? Wow. We then moved into a WWE Hall of Famer, Rey Mysterio, taking on El Grande Americano. Wow. Now, to me, it does look like it wasn't the original El Grande Americano. It looks like it was Ludwig Kaiser. But the WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio did pick up the victory over El Grande Americano. Guys, and of course, let me know down in the comments what was your favourite moment of Monday Night Raw. We then had the ruler, Obafemi, take on Grayson Waller. Now, why would Grayson Waller, knowing what Obafemi did at WrestleMania, why would you even step up to the ruler? I would run in the opposite direction, but Grayson, well done. But of course, the ruler came out on top. So a huge congratulations to the ruler, Obafemi. We then had Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez take on Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the women's tag team division is all jockeying for position, but Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez did pick up the victory over Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Wow. We then had the answer that we'd all been waiting for since last week. Roman Reigns accepts Jacob Fatu's challenge at Backlash. Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, what are your guys' thoughts on this past week's Monday Night Raw? Of course, I want to hear what you guys think, so let me know down in the comments below. But, ladies and gentlemen, that does bring this vlog to a close. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, you know what to do. Leave us a like, leave us a subscribe, ding dong that notification bell, and be informed every single time Essential Wrestling News uploads a brand new video for your guys' faces, and we will see you again soon with more wrestling content.